Welcome to the VOW Wrestling Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with the one and only
Paulus Clark.
And of course, you know me, it's me, the living legend of his own time and his own mind, the big time, just like we do every week. We come here and every time we can to give you the very best value in wrestling. That is why we are the VOW Wrestling. So come join us as we go over some of the hot stuff going on this week, and now you can see our beautiful faces. Anywho, what should we talk about first? How about we talk about what's going on Monday Night Raw? We have the newest addition to Retribution, as in now we sort of know, or at least are being led to believe that they have a leader in Ali.
What Ali can bring.
Well, I hope he brings something because he hasn't done much of anything. It's really hard for me to, take him in this
Role.
Yeah. Well, it's just hard to buy somebody they've done nothing with. Now he's supposed to be this leader of this big bad.
We can do what we want, faction.
It's still kind of difficult to believe he's going to be in that role. But yes, Ali is now the leader. At least this is what they're led to believe. I don't think they factually said anything.
They have in the dirt sheets, but they haven't on camera.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I think in the dirt sheets and everywhere else they've said that this is a fact, but I don't remember anything on the show where they actually announced him as leader.
Nope.
They're just kind of like,
it just kind of looks. Yeah, it's kind of like looks like it.
It's being presented that way. No reason I bring that up because I don't know if that's what they're going to do. There are other rumors that there may be another associate. Oh, we do know one thing about Retribution. Somebody has been saved. They have saved themselves from the distinguish of a possible gimmick gone bad, as Mercedes Martinez will not be a part of Retribution as it looks like, and as being reported going forward, and take this with a grain of salt, we do not have any factual evidence on the matter, but the fact of the matter that she's not listed in the group. The pictures that Ali put out on Instagram and I think Twitter showed Ali and the four other members of Retribution: Mace, T-Bar, Slapjack, and me Yim's name, which I have forgotten now. Reckoning? I think it's Reckoning. But anyways, it looks like Retaliation or Mercedes Martinez will not be joining them, and will be going back to NXT. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Besides, NXT can definitely use another heavy hitter in the women's division.
No, I definitely think they really they took a lot of big pieces out of NXT at this time, leaving it kind of short in some areas. So we'll see what happens. Mercedes Martinez going back there will probably be better for her. We'll see what happens with Retribution, especially this Monday. Not only this Monday, but Retribution is in the draft, so who knows what will happen there. Maybe Retribution's going to go to SmackDown all of a sudden. But we're going to find out soon. This Monday we'll find out more about Retribution and what's going on with Ali. So, and speaking of the draft, we had the first half of the draft on SmackDown last night. So draft day 1. In the first round of the 2020 draft for WWE, the number 1 overall pick was Drew McIntyre by Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw keeps the WWE Championship and Drew McIntyre. And the number 1 pick for SmackDown, of course, they kept their Universal Champion in Roman. Call me Tribal Chief Reigns. The number 2 overall pick for Raw in the first round was Asuka, which means the Raw Women's Championship will continue to stay on Raw. And SmackDown took the Monday Night Messiah is no more, as Seth Rollins is now on the blue brand, a member of Friday Night SmackDown, so I guess it'll make him the Friday Night Messiah.
Or the SmackDown Savior.
Maybe. And finally, in a big drop, Raw drafted the entire Hurt Business, which also included Bobby Lashley and the United States title. So that gave them, on Raw so far, Drew McIntyre, Asuka, Bobby Lashley, MVP, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin, and SmackDown picks up Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. In the second round of last night's draft, the number 1 pick in the second round for Raw was AJ Styles, which we all pretty much could have figured AJ was probably going back to Monday Night Raw, with recent stories, not anything to do with Paul Heyman. He's come out and pretty much said he doesn't have he doesn't necessarily like Paul Heyman, but it's not that big of an issue in that sense. He would do business if he had to with Paul Heyman, but the fact of the matter that his son is in high school and I believe he's in high school, and he's playing football on Friday nights, and AJ wants to be home to watch his son play on Friday nights, and was having a hard time being able to do that with SmackDown being live on Friday night. So they traded him over to the Raw brand, which is what Raw needed. Then SmackDown drafted in the second round as their first pick, Sasha Banks. So we know Sasha's going to stay on the blue brand for now.
So we're going to hear Michael Cole 20 million times say, "It's boss time!"
But there hasn't been a boss since 2018, I think.
About so.
Maybe not a boss since we had her in NXT, or maybe the last time she was in a Hell in a Cell match against Charlotte. Maybe there was some boss, but it's been a long time since the boss has been there. Love to see the boss come back. We'll see what happens, because it looks like she is going to go into a Hell in a Cell against Bayley, or at least she threw out the challenge there. Raw picks up Naomi as their second pick in the second round. How Naomi got drafted so high, I'm not really sure. I didn't even know Naomi was still there, but it'll be interesting to see where her husband lands at this point. Then we got SmackDown drafting Bianca Belair, which I didn't even know Bianca Belair. I mean, I knew she was there. I knew she had graduated to or demoted, or whatever you want to call it, to the main roster. I just hadn't seen her much, but now hopefully we'll see her on SmackDown.
They've been doing vignettes for her for the last, week or two, something like that.
Yeah, so.
It's like they were trying to re-debut her, and then she gets drafted to SmackDown, so it's like, okay. Then that makes you wonder then where the Street Profits going to go, since she is married to Montez Ford.
It'll be interesting to find out. And Raw's final pick in the second round was Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. So the women's tag team champions are officially Raw members, but as far as I understand, the tag team champions, at least with the women's, is defendable on all brands. So when Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler loses those titles, they will probably fall back to Raw. But
That's
I won't. You don't put a grain of salt to that, because who knows what they'll do when that time comes.
Yeah, by the time it comes around.
Round 3 of the draft for Friday night. The number 1 pick was Ricochet, the one. The only Ricochet will be staying on Monday Night Raw, which doesn't do anything for anybody or anything. I don't know if it helps him or doesn't help him. It just kind of is like it's almost a wasted pick. Not to say Ricochet's a waste of a talent, but it's just kind of like he was already there.
The way he's been booked,
yeah, I know. Yeah, the way he's been booked, I would say this at this point, Triple H, Hunter, Paul, go get Ricochet, bring him back to NXT, because that's where he needs to be.
Bring him back home.
Bring him back home. The number 1 pick in the third round for SmackDown was Jey Uso. Jimmy was not in the draft pool because he's out with injury.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting with that. I don't know what they're going to do. I guess he might be a free agent, but I mean, I don't see.
And what's strange about the free agents is that if you are actually considered a free agent, you can choose your own brand.
Yes.
Like,
so
okay.
when you come back from injury, does that make you a free agent? It's the question. So we'll see where Jimmy winds up. Jay on SmackDown, Naomi on Raw. How's that going to work out for them?
Well, it's Jimmy that's married to.
Oh, okay, it's Jimmy. Thought it was Jay, they said, but okay, it's hard to keep up with all that. I mean, I know they're married, but it's like it's secondary to everything else I watch. It's like, yeah, nice, you're married, but I can't, pay attention to who's who sometimes and all that. Raw's second draft pick, again, another wasted pick really to me. Mandy Rose stays on Raw. Why? Because she just got thrown over there. It's kind of like the dumb thing. They just sent her over there because storyline, Miz got her traded over there. Mm-hmm. Now she's been drafted back over there. It's kind of like, and especially in the third round, it's kind of like, okay, that's a wasted pick for Mandy Rose. Like, if you went down, like, the 6th, 7th off-air rounds and said, oh, we're going to draft Mandy Rose. Okay, I get it, but on air, like, it's kind of like, that's a wasted pick. She was already there. It doesn't do anything to bolster, change, or move anything. So then we get to one of the bigger shockers of the night. Following the Seth Rollins going to SmackDown, which we thought would separate Seth Rollins from Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic. But no, in the third round with their second pick, for whatever reason, SmackDown got to draft Rey and Dominic Mysterio. So I guess they're a quote-unquote tag team at this point.
Well, on SmackDown, they did do a mini promo. It was either on SmackDown or WWE exclusive, I don't recall. But anyways, where it's like, Rey is looking for some tag gold with him and his son. Yeah. So it is something that is obviously in the works.
Could be interesting. So we'll see what happens there. And then in the big surprise shocker, The Miz and John Morrison are now being drafted in the third round as the third pick to Monday Night Raw. So now this puts Miz and Morrison on a different brand than Otis. This also puts them back on the same brand with Mandy Moore. So we'll see what happens. Mandy Rose. Sorry, Mandy Moore. Mandy Rose. Generational thing. Moving on. Fourth round of the draft from Friday night, we had the biggest surprise yet. Big E had a great match with Sheamus. It was a brutal match, and then out appeared Kofi, and out appeared Xavier Woods, and they celebrated their ring. And then the Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston talked about, or at least Xavier said, we need some gold. It's time to get our tag team titles back. Big E did not look too excited about that. But the New Day were given a tag team match, Kofi and Xavier, and they beat Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro to become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And in the
but wait,
there's more. But in the fourth round of the draft, Monday Night Raw with their first pick drafts the newly crowned SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. And Xavier stood in the ring going, you didn't say E, you didn't say E, you didn't say E, and Stephanie McMahon said yes. And in the fourth round, the number one pick for SmackDown is Big E. So New Day as a threesome is no longer right now.
Maybe on pay-per-views, but that or specials.
Maybe. Well, if they do it right, they'll let Big E go on his own. And hell, maybe they'll let Big E go heel or something, because he's pretty badass, and I think he deserves more than he is. And breaking away from the New Day, maybe breaking away from the fact that they really sold the storyline as like, oh, Kofi did it, now Big E can do it. And I really am like, he can do it on his own. Like, why do they have to make it, like, give him that rub off of, like, the Kofi?
What's wrong with the rub? I mean, it's not like it's a secondary.
Because Kofi's run became more of a joke to me. It was like they gave it to him because they got pushed into a corner, and then they didn't know what to do, and then how he lost it to Brock Lesnar just kind of killed it for me. It was like,
again, not the talent's fault.
No. It's not Kofi's fault. Kofi's amazing. Kofi has pulled off some of the most amazing things, and it's done some of the most amazing stunts, and a lot of his Royal Rumble things. I think the first one was, like by accident, he just got lucky, but the rest of them, he's, nothing against Kofi. Does Kofi deserve to be that world champion? Yes. Did they play the world champion and write it out right? No. So when they take the way his world championship run went, that we know it happened because it was forced. It wasn't really what they wanted to do, but they kind of backed themselves in the corner and were forced to give him the title, which aggravated me then because it was just kind of like, you gave it to him not on merit of earning it, but because you wrote yourself into a corner and you were going to piss everybody off and get booed out of the building if you didn't. And then they gave it to Kofi, and they let him have a decent run because they had to be real careful about when and how. But then they had him drop it to Brock Lesnar in such a horrible match, which it was disappointing. And then
well, my point is whether Big E has that run on his own or with part of the New Day, how they book it is the most important part.
Well, if they book it the way they should. I mean, right now I'm just like, okay, the rub from Kofi's title run was kind of tainted to me. So it's like.
But see, what their point is the fact that he had a title run.
Yeah, I know. I just hope they do Big E right. That's all I'm saying.
Fair,
if he's going to go and he's going to win, and if he's going to win the Royal Rumble, which I don't. This year, the people they're putting up there to win the Royal Rumble, Edge, Big E.
I don't know. Some people are trying to say it's going to be Big E and maybe against Roman at Mania. I'm just like, really?
Yeah, that's what the dirt sheets and a lot of people are writing. With Big E staying on SmackDown, there's a good chance. And then with the fact of the matter that their talk's still going on about Randy taking the title and facing against Edge, and Edge returning and winning another Rumble, which I'm like, I love you, Edge. I love Adam Copeland. He's an amazing talent. Thank God he's back. Sorry that he's back out of an injury, but I don't think he deserves another Rumble win. Like, he already had this story told. He came back from injury, won the title, won the Royal Rumble, and I think he went up against Chris Jericho, won the belt. And I think right after that is when he had to relinquish the belt or something like that, if I remember correctly. But he already had the, return that Rumble win. I'm like, I don't want to see it again. I mean, I love it. Edge is great, and I love Edge. I'm not putting him down for that, but it's just like somebody else. Big E, if they push him through these next few months to make it viable, I'll be happy. But they've got to make it believable. Just saying Big E's going to win it because we're pushing Big E, it's like, I feel like it's a little too late for one, but it's like it's got to be believable at this point. You've got to make me believe that Big E can actually win this thing reasonably. Could he win it? Yeah, but I mean, the storyline's going to make sense.
I mean, this company's not known for making sense.
Oh, I know. That's my fear, that they're just going to give us a crap Rumble and Big E's going to win. And then it's like, I thought Rock came out and said he wanted to face Roman at WrestleMania. So I'm like, if The Rock gets involved and it's Rock versus Roman with the title, because Roman's holding the title to Mania.
I feel that way.
And maybe beyond, depending. I don't know. But if Brock gets involved in Mania, and then where does Big E's title run go? I mean, we've already seen, and thank God, that the Fiend, they're backing off the Fiend title match now. Not because Bray Wyatt doesn't deserve it, the Fiend doesn't deserve a real decent, true title run. It doesn't need that storyline, but it's, they backed off because they walked themselves into another storyline with the family, which they kind of wrote themselves into and are into in the corner. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But Big E is now on SmackDown, like Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions on Raw, leading many to speculate, many to believe that they're going to unify the tag team titles.
I would not mind that at all.
But I think there's a swerve in there. I think everybody's getting excited about that because they think New Day with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions are on Raw. Who are the tag team champions on Raw?
The Street Profits.
And Montez Ford's married to who?
Bianca Belair.
And she's on what brand?
SmackDown.
So are we? I think a lot of people rejecting that they're going to combine the titles. I think we're going to get a swerve here. I think you're going to see the Street Profits go to SmackDown with the Raw Tag Team Champions, and I don't know how that plays out. I don't know if they just go, okay, you were the champions over there, now you're the SmackDown champions. It was kind of like when the Universal and the Raw.
Because the WWE title and the Universal title have two separate names, and they're not tied to the brands.
It was easier, yes.
Yes. Same thing with the U.S. Intercontinental.
Yes.
We have the Raw and SmackDown tag champs. So it's like.
I don't know. Do they
vacate the titles? Do they
have a tournament vacated, or does Montez Ford, or does the Street Profits take the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and the New Day take the Raw Tag Team Champions? Do we get a match on Raw against the two Tag Team Champions and have some weird finish bullshit? Like, here's how you do this.
That's 2 out of 3. First fall is this title. Second fall is the other title.
No, not even that. You have Kofi pin Dawkins and Montez pin Xavier at the same time in some screwy finish, and the ref count 1, 2, 3, and then be like, and then swap it. I don't know. I'm trying to think Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon style.
Oh, please don't. You're gonna hurt your brain that way.
Anyway, so in the 4th round, the second pick for some stupid reason on Raw, because this was another wasted pick, because I don't know what you're gonna do with her, because they never do anything with her. The one, what's that? They're calling her the one that shows the her flexiness or whatever it is. Dana Brooke is on Monday Night Raw. Wasted pick to me. You don't do anything with Dana. Never done anything with Dana. You start to play around with Dana, and then you just drop her like a bad habit.
I mean, the last time Dana Brooke was really relevant was when she was Charlotte's understudy on Raw. But then they never told the comeback story.
It's the same thing when she was in Titus Worldwide. It's kind of the, not manager, but kind of the business end. She was playing more of a, what was her name? We go back to, Stacey Keebler in WCW, but I'm going back to old WCW. Yeah, standards and not practices, but I'm going back to WCW, the York Foundation.
Oh, you're going that old.
Yeah.
Terry Reynolds played.
Terry Reynolds,
I can't remember the character.
Something York, I forget. And she was like the business end of it all. So that's Dana Brooke. In the 4th round with their second pick, SmackDown took Otis. Otis alone. I don't know what that means for Tucker, and I know they've been talking about separating Heavy Machinery and Tucker, and all that news, so which is I don't know. So Otis is
along to that.
On SmackDown, and he got another letter because they're continuing the case because they have no clue what they're going to do with this. Because from what I understand, the people, the writers, and I guess Bruce want to strip Otis of the Money in the Bank match.
But Vince is
not going to let it happen because Vince loves the guy because the guy's become a comedy act, and it's sad. I think Otis has more to present than just being the big joke.
I don't mind him being a comedy wrestler, but you also, it's like, if serious outside, comedy outside the ring, serious in the ring, you got the tools. And he actually does have the tools.
No, he's got the talent, and that's a good tag team that they brought up again and are ruining. And I
never liked him as a tag team, to be honest.
I don't, well, they've been around for a long time, though. I mean, they've been in Ring of Honor and everything, too, so. Weren't they in Ring of Honor's Heavy Machine ring?
Not that more. Heavy Machine didn't come up until NXT. That was their WWE run.
They were in another.
Not that I ever heard of. I didn't hear about them until, their WWE run.
They've been around. Let's see here.
Yeah, there you go, WWE. Or whatever.
I went there.
Like a Wikipedia.
There we go.
Boom, first thing was NXT.
Huh, I thought they were somewhere else before that. Tucker Knight, Otis Throbbit. Really thought they were somewhere else before that. Otis was the Rookie of the Year in 2017.
What?
That's what it says.
I see it. I see it. I
Pro Wrestling Illustrated Rookie of the Year 2017, Otis. So, I thought they had a more storied history, but okay. I don't know where either of these guys really came from then. Let's see, what's Otis, amateur wrestling, early career, right? They came from Ultra Championship Wrestling 0 and New Revolution Wrestling, where he won the NRW Charge Championship, which I have no clue about that.
Indies.
He was scouted by Gerald Briscoe. Okay, so I mean, Otis has not been around that long as I thought differently. And who is Tucker then? Tucker is somebody who early in his career started at the Performance Center, so I'm completely wrong. I thought they had a storied history. I guess it doesn't matter. They have nothing. They were never nothing. And now Otis is by himself. Anyways, in the 4th round for the 3rd pick, Raw keeps Angel Garza. Or the something Letheo, or I don't know.
Lothario?
Yeah. So, the 5th round pops up, and we get a bunch of people that don't have any points. So in the 5th round, we wasted pretty much every pick. So Raw picks Humberto Carrillo.
I don't know if you'd call SmackDown's first pick in the 5th round wasted.
Well, okay, so the 1st round pick for SmackDown was Murphy.
He's got potential still, even though...
Well, he's got to continue his storyline with
Seth and the Mysterios.
The Mysterios, yes. My question is, I'm swearing... I don't even know how to spell her name. Okay. Yeah, and everybody's pissed off that there's a storyline between a 30-year-old guy and a 19-year-old girl.
Oh my God, legal adult!
I know, that's the difference. But I swear I read somewhere that they're actually dating.
Yeah, I read that somewhere too.
So I don't know if that's fact. I can't find anything to tell me for sure. Let's see if this tells me what I want to know. She's in a relationship with a guy with Instagram ID AJ Hernandez, supposedly. Okay, so I don't know.
It also depends on when this was written.
Possibly they might get married. I don't know. Last year, so this is over a year ago. So I don't know. I heard rumors that they're really dating in real life, but I'm not even sure. Let's
not speculate on things that we really can't confirm. It's not that big pertaining to what we're talking about.
Oh, I'm curious. That's so. Let's see here.
So you really want to know about that cheese man, huh?
I just don't know if I read right or if I'm reading craziness, because at some point I swear I read every day. I don't know if that's just somehow fed out and it's all storyline based, and that's where I'm getting that from. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything factual.
Down a little bit. Cause I started personal life. I started talking about because I saw where they worked.
Yeah, he was engaged to Alexa Kaufman. But that ended, so, and she's with Ryan Cabrera.
I was trying to think if it would continue after that.
Nope, so I guess maybe it's just all storyline.
Maybe.
I just thought it was interesting that it was before the fact that they started the storyline that there was a speculation rumor. But anyway, the 3rd round, or the 5th round, 2nd pick for Raw, Drew Gulak. Why?
Again, a lot of potential, because he's a great wrestler, but he haven't really... Except for when he was with Daniel Bryan, they haven't really booked him worth anything.
No, they never have. The 2nd round pick for SmackDown was Kalisto, so I guess they're bringing up Lucha House Party, and that's... I don't know why they're picking these people. Like, the picks on TV should be important. I get the later picks in the rounds, but that's just...
And then the 3rd for Raw.
Going to Raw in the 5th round, the 3rd pick was Tucker, so there is no more heavy machinery. Tucker's going to be by himself. I don't know what that does for any storyline or anything. So we know that the New Day split up. Oh, Lars Sullivan returned to TV during SmackDown, but he's been added to the Raw draft pool, so he'll be drafted over there.
Well, in other words, we'll see where he's drafted on Raw.
Yes, and so, well, he'll be part of the draft pool for Raw, so people will draft on Raw. Now, Elias, Shorty G, Mickey James, Lucha House Party members Lindsay Dorado, and Grandmaster Leak were part of the SmackDown draft pool and were not drafted. And so, superstars that are draft eligible on Monday, October 12th, are Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, who will probably go and stay with SmackDown. Andrade, who I would say would probably go to SmackDown. Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan. When's the last time we've seen Daniel Bryan just before all this? King Corbin, Apollo Crews, Daba Kato, Eric, no Ivar because he's out on injury, Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee, Riddick Moss, Titus O'Neil, Randy Orton.
Well, Titus O'Neil, with the exception of an appearance here and there on Raw Underground, we haven't seen him in what feels like ages.
I know. Kevin Owens, R-Truth, Matt Riddle, Arturo Ruiz, who?
Another Raw Underground person.
Okay. And I guess Raw Underground's not. I don't know. And Sheamus, Braun Strowman, which would be funny if he went back to SmackDown. I'd laugh my butt off. Akira Tozawa, Bray Wyatt. The women, we still have SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Nikki Cross, Lacey Evans, Charlotte Flair, Billie Kay, Lana, Natalya, Peyton Royce, Tamina, and Zelina Vega. And we still have tag teams, and this is incorrect here, but the Street Profits, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, The Miz and John Morrison have already been drafted, so I don't know why they're on the list. Retribution, which would be weird, and then the Riot Squad. Notable unlisted stars include Becky Lynch, who's pregnant and is currently not competing, expected to give birth in November. Jimmy Uso and Ivar, who are both out on injury, but their tag team partners are listed as singles wrestlers. Presumably they would simply join whatever brand their partners would be on, so it says. Sonya Deville is no longer under contract in storyline. Edge and Jinder Mahal are out injured. Samoa Joe is currently on the Raw commentary team, but promises he will come back in the ring. Mojo Rawley has not competed since June 15, 2020. The Forgotten Sons have not competed since May of 2020. Bo Dallas has not competed since almost a year ago. Halloween, October 31st, 2019. Part-time and likely ineligible were The Big Show, John Cena, Bill Goldberg, Ronda Rousey, and The Undertaker. So that's the draft. Draft was what it was. I don't know what to say. I guess we gotta wait for Rod's.
Yeah, I would say that's exactly where I was going with that. Because the story's not over. Well, not that it's ever over, but we can't really comment more on the story until we know at least the next part of it.
So moving on, let's talk about AEW. 30 years of Chris Jericho. They had a great night and they had 30 years to present just Chris Jericho. I had a ton of people come out and congratulate him on 30 years in the wrestling business. And we had a great dog collar match between Brody Lee and Cody Rhodes. And we crowned a new TNT champion as Cody Rhodes became the first two-time TNT champion. Great match, great show. Overall, it did its part. Not a whole lot to write about, but it was what it was. I don't know if there's anything else big in wrestling going on right now that we need to talk about. Anything you can think of?
See, I'm never good with on-the-spot thinking. I have to look things up.
But yeah, so we shall see what happens. I would say the Street Profits probably going to go to Raw. I think we're going to probably reject. I just don't see them combining the tag team champions. They've had plenty of opportunities.
First of all, so if the the Street Profits go to Raw, that means you'll have both champions on Raw.
Oh, I mean the Street Profits go to SmackDown. You know what I mean?
I do now.
You can follow it's just. I think the Street Profits go to SmackDown. Maybe they'll lose the tag team titles. I don't know why, but I don't know how you have the SmackDown champions on Raw now. Unless you're going to combine them, but I don't see
either that, or they pull a John Cena that they did 1 year where he's drafted to one brand early on.
Oh, and they draft him back?
Yep.
I hope they don't.
But then again, they do have two separate pools. So that may not even be possible.
Yeah. No. And that was supposed to be an era where they're like random drafts, like nobody was picking it. It was just like some computer going, Yahoo! Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it for this week. Not a whole lot to go over, not a whole lot in detail to talk about, but it's been an interesting time, and we got to wait till Monday to see what happens. So hopefully next week we'll have more information for you. We'll be able to break down what happened on Raw and SmackDown, or the Raw draft. We'll see where everybody lies, and we'll see how it all plays out. I say Street Profits to Raw. I'm sure Alexa Bliss and The Fiend are coming over to, or the Street Profits to SmackDown, Alexa Bliss and The Fiend to Raw. Kevin Owens probably stay on Raw because he's going to be feuding with The Fiend now, which should be interesting. There's a lot of speculation that Alexa Bliss is going to be the woman in power, and maybe combine the team around Bray Wyatt as the woman in power.
You know what's also funny though, with Kevin Owens, if Kevin Owens is on Raw, Fiend's on Raw, so is Aleister Black.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's kind of in the feud with both, do they finally combine? Maybe that's a part of the new Wyatt family?
Maybe. Could be interesting. Where's Bo Dallas? Keep saying put Bo with his brother and let him go. So we'll find out. So with that said, that is it for this week. This is the one and only. And he doesn't know his name.
This is the big time.
This is Paulus Clark. This is the one, the only Paulus Clark, and I am the big time, the legend of all, the legend of great. I am the big time BT Baldwin. This has been the Value of Wrestling podcast. Don't give any smart comments. Just hold it right there.
Off to Never Never Land.
Sleeping with one eye open.
That's
for our next podcast. The free shooting stuff. So, anywho, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment all you want. Please share this everywhere. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications so you know when we upload another video or go live. Yes, we are trying to go live more often than not. So we thank you for joining us. We thank you for watching, and we hope you stay tuned. And that is all. So good night, and so long.